Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Worst. If you haven't watched this show before, let me just say what we're doing here. I'm going to be ranting, Menenberg, ranting about a given topic. I'm exaggerating, I'm upset about it, and it's not actually the worst thing in the world. There's probably comparatively worse things going on in society. But for now, I'd like you to just sit back, strap in, and be ready to be offended. Because today, I'm going to be talking about adulting. Adulting, my friends, is the worst. Now, I'll let the applause die down for those of you who are standing up and cheering. I know 2020 has been a hard year for a lot of us. We've faced a lot of obstacles. Some of us have overcome some stuff, and we've had to do some things that we could never have imagined ourselves doing in a civilized society. And some of us think we're adulting, and we're proud of ourselves. But let me just clarify what I'm talking about when I'm talking about adulting. I am not talking about the act of adulting, which I'll define in a moment. I'm talking about the term adulting. That's right, my friends. Using the term adulting is the worst. All right, by now, if you're someone around or my age or a little bit younger, perhaps maybe the high school age, you've probably heard this term, you maybe used it, and you're starting to get a little offended, right? Because you're, where's Menenberg going with this? For those of you who are a little bit older, maybe my parents' generation or a little bit younger, perhaps you have little kids, you don't know what this term is, let me define it for you. Adulting is an umbrella term that refers to pretty much anything that you do over the age of 18. Sometimes high schoolers use this term too, but anybody who is doing something, a task that their parents previously did for them, basically, okay? Now I say umbrella because it's a wide range, really. You can have something as complex and as maybe difficult and impressive as starting your own business or getting a loan or buying a house, to something as simple and mundane and basic as getting a haircut, or going to the grocery store, or wearing professional clothes to your first job. Adulting is the term that you may have seen used. You maybe have used this. And if you have, or if you have friends that use this term, let me just say for the record, that's the worst. Let me start by putting a disclaimer out there. If you're a person who did not have a role model, or maybe you didn't have a parent or two parents or anyone in your life growing up that supported you or helped you or, did these types of things for you, then I'm certainly not talking to you. I'm not talking about you. In fact, what you do to become a functional member of society is truly admirable, it's impressive, and I applaud it, okay, for the record. For the rest of you, for the people I'm really getting at here, you probably had quite the opposite experience. You probably had two parents, maybe one, but most of the time two, who really catered to every need that you had because they're your parents, and they did a lot of things for you. Some of them did these things for you well into your adult years. And by the way, for the record, United States of America, adult cutoff is somehow arbitrarily put at the age of 18. So 18 and up, your parents maybe have been doing some stuff for you all along, maybe well into adulthood, and now you are taking on some of those tasks for yourself. And what you're doing by using the term adulting is saying that you'd want and deserve some recognition for doing those things. That's what we're talking about, okay? All right. Now that that's been established, let me just explain why this is the worst. This term is the worst, and here's the first reason. English teacher here, for the record. The word adulting is taking the noun adult and turning it into a verb, which, to be fair, is done with many words. We have noun and verb forms of many root words that are, okay, fine, but this one's just totally made up, and society has put their rubber stamp on this and said, yes, we're going to allow this, we're going to let this happen. And from an English teacher standpoint, it's garbage. It's disastrous, it's embarrassing, and we should not grammatically use this. It's terrible, the worst. Let's get past that. I'm going to let that one go. The real reason adulting is the worst are two. There's two main reasons. The first is that by seeking credit for something, let's just say basic, like making a home-cooked meal, what you are doing is you are announcing to the world that you and the world, your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, your family, whatever, collectively have very, very low expectations of what you're capable of doing, okay? You're saying, look, I made a meal and there's a vegetable in it, and that's impressive, right? Because you all looked at me and you were thinking, well, the fact that they're even living on it, it's impressive, right? Really, it's amazing. So we should give you credit, we should give you recognition, we should throw a parade for you. I don't know what you're really wanting here, but you're basically saying everyone agrees that we should not expect very much of you. Okay? That's what you're doing when you're saying I'm adulting. Okay? Because you're doing something that all of us can do, and most of us have been doing for quite some time. Okay? So we're not impressed. We shouldn't be impressed. The other thing it does that's making it the worst is it is saying to society, or whoever your audience is, that you are so desperate for attention that you need, nay, I say demand, that everyone stand up and cheer for everything and anything that you do. This is part of the problem with social media, which will have to be a separate rant because that's a big topic and I don't have time for it right now. But the fact that you think that everything you do is so noteworthy is kind of an indictment on you, but it's also a bigger indictment on society. Like, look, it didn't really matter that you went to the grocery store by yourself and bought groceries for this week and planned for your meals and cooked those meals and they had some nutritional value and it wasn't just Cheetos and Mountain Dew. Okay? That's not impressive. That's not impressive at all. It's like this. As a teacher, I get no fewer than a dozen students per year come up to me at some point and they're like, hey, Menenberg, I did my my homework assignment last night. Aren't you proud of me? Something along those lines, right? And I look at them every single time and I say, no, I'm not proud of you. Why would I be proud of you? You did a basic, simple task that anybody and everybody else in your class was able to do. You had plenty of time to do it, and it really wasn't that hard. So, no, not proud of you. I'm pleased. I'm pleased that you're doing what I asked of you to do, what is expected of you, but I'm not proud of you because you didn't go anything above and beyond what I would have expected any normal person in your shoes to do. So, what do you want? You want credit in the grade book? Done. You would have got that for doing it. Absolutely. But going beyond that, not going to happen. In the same way, adulting is kind of like that in saying that, hey, I did this basic thing. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I need attention. I need recognition. I need a parade thrown in my honor for going to the grocery store, for getting my hair cut. Look, unless you did that in the middle of a hurricane or on the way to the grocery store, you were able to save an old lady from a pack of wild wolves, or cure cancer or something on the way back. I mean, look, those things didn't happen. And if they did, that would be truly impressive. But my friends, you doing something basic that your parents have been doing for you and for themselves for a very long time should not impress anyone. And I'm calling out society. I want you as a group, us as a group, to stop enabling this. It is garbage. And it speaks to a larger issue that is pervading our society as well, and that is the sad truth that we have very, very low expectations of each other in so many ways. Okay, I'm just speaking about adulting right now, but let's be honest, it goes well beyond this. Lowered expectations is a sad thing that we are enduring right now as a society. I'm not going to get into what that looks like. I think you can fill in the blanks in your own mind. But for the sake of this show, let me just say this. Adulting, or doing the things that every other person over the age of 18 can and should and often are doing, is not impressive. I am not impressed. I'm not proud of you. I'm actually embarrassed for you. You should not be calling attention to this stuff. No. Just do it. Don't seek recognition. In fact, on the flip side of this, if you are doing something truly respectable, truly admirable, truly impressive, you shouldn't be the one seeking recognition. It should come to you naturally. That's right. It should come to you naturally because we, as a human race, should recognize excellence. We should. But when you seek it out, it says a little bit more about you than it does about society. And that's something that it's saying isn't something that you want to say. So let's not do that. Let's hold each other to higher standards. Let's raise those expectations and stop claiming that adulting is something that we should all applaud and be proud of you for. It's not. We're not. I'm done. Okay? Game over. In any case, I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have. It's been cathartic in some ways. But please comment. I'd love to hear what you did that was adult today, what you did that you would consider adulting, what you've heard other people claim as adulting, and why you think it's nonsense just like me. If you're upset, take a deep breath, get a tissue. It's going to be okay. Probably. Maybe call your mom. I don't know what you need to do. In any case, until next week, just remember, my friends, life is about choices. We'll see you next time.